First off, thank you so much for all tuning in to my Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep video. It was already doing better than average for the channel, but once it was announced that the standalone game would be in the February PS Plus lineup, that video just took off and skyrocketed in views. And it's thanks to all of you for tuning in, which I am incredibly humbled. So with the Tiny Tina's Wonderlands game, the full-scale release of the idea started in that same DLC, we have one more video to make to get ready for that release. We did the Wonderlands standalone one-shot adventure and have covered the base game for Borderlands 3. But one thing the Borderlands series does better than most is releasing excellent downloadable content. Borderlands 3 has not one, but 2 season passes, which contain a total of 6 DLC packs, and they all have trophy sets. So in Platinum Hunters fashion, we're going to cover all the trophies in a New Game Plus episode, only this time covering all 6 packs instead of making standalone episodes for each DLC. We're going to cover all of these DLC packs in a slightly modified order. For the most part, we'll be following the release order, except we are bumping the director's cut to the front of the line because A, it feels like a natural extension of the main game, and B, there is one trophy that you will need to work on while you're playing the other DLCs. We'll cover what that is and all the trophies for Season Pass 1 and Season Pass 2 in Borderlands 3. It's a big video, so I don't want to dilly-dally too much and get looting these trophies. This is Platinum Hunters New Game Plus, the show where we take a look at DLC and add-on trophy sets and games without platinum trophies. So if you haven't checked out my trophy guide for the Borderlands 3 base game, it's up on the channel and you can use it to get the ultimate Vault Hunter Platinum trophy if you haven't already. Also, subscribe to the channel for more trophy guides just like this one. You might just find your next Platinum trophy. The Director's Cut DLC pack contains content that was left on the cutting room floor for the base game, and now it's fully finished and released for a pretty steep price, but it's here. In general, I think the Season Pass 2 that contains the Director's Cut and Designer's Cut doesn't contain the same value as Season Pass 1, and yet it's the same price. I found the best way to enjoy all of this content to get around this is to grab the Ultimate Edition of Borderlands 3, which has the base game and all the DLC that's ever been released for a better price than getting all of the stuff piecemeal, even when the packs are on sale. I got mine physical for $49.99 Canadian from GameStop. If you try to grab it digitally though, at the time of recording this video, it is $119 Canadian, so definitely grab it physical or wait for that digital version to go on sale at least 50% off. But now let's focus on the Director's Cut. This DLC only has 3 trophies to worry about, but it manages to become the most difficult pack of the bunch thanks to one pretty difficult raid boss fight. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, let's cover the Demysteriously-ified trophy. This is for completing the Cut multi-part storyline that has Ava starting a podcast called Mysterious Lear and chasing a lead where people are winding up dead. Now, people winding up dead in a Borderlands game is nothing really all that surprising, but the way they are winding up dead is intriguing, and it's an interesting rabbit hole to fall through. Complete all 4 parts of the quest and get this trophy. Now let's go up against the big bad raid boss of this DLC and get the Blood-Sucking Freak trophy. You will go up against the massive Varkid Hemovorus, the Invincible. When you first meet him, he's a little guy, but as the fight goes on, he will metamorphose into a huge hulking bug with lots of health. Even if you max out your level, turn off Mayhem mode, and go into the fight with really good gear, it's still going to be a very tough fight, and you need to strategize. you will need to have a corrosive gun in your rotation to get rid of his yellow shields. If you are playing as Moze and you've invested into the green skill tree, you can equip a corrosive salamander laser to help you take down its yellow health bar faster. The other thing you need to do is manage the amount of Varkid grunts that are on the battlefield. You might be tempted to leave them, but Varkids grow stronger the longer you leave them alive. Before you know it, you'll have a bunch of badass Varkids flying around, and good luck staying alive at that point. This is a tough and long fight, and I don't recommend doing it solo. Do it with 2 or more players, and everyone has to have maxed out classes and the right gear. If you can squash Hemovorus, the Invincible, the trophy will be yours. The last trophy for this DLC is best gotten while you play the other DLCs, and that's why I decided to cover the director's cut first. The trophy is called Might Beyond Sight, and it will be awarded to you for cracking 45 secret iridium crystals. These are not the regular ones you find practically everywhere in the base game. These ones have a darker purple hue, have gold sparkles around them, and can only be seen if you have a special item equipped. After you complete the Mysterious Lear storyline, you will be given a special artifact called the Mysterious Amulet. This is the item you need to have equipped to be able to start seeing these invisible iridium crystals. Be very careful not to sell it by accident, because you will miss this trophy entirely and have to do the DLC again on true Vault Hunter mode. So equip the Mysterious Amulet to start working on getting the trophy, and then let's head into our next DLC for a high stakes heist. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorn. Handsome Jack might be dead, but the true way Moxxi is going to get revenge on the masked asshole is by taking control of his casino and resort planet. It's being contested by others like the mobster called Pretty Boy, and there's plenty of loader bots to mow down, but with our help, we got this. You'll get the trophy a proper handoff when you complete the excellent tale. This is honestly a great DLC story, and it has a bunch of other fun stuff to do. There are 3 collectible trophies to grab along your journey, and they come in the form of crew challenges. All 3 types of crew challenges will have these green symbols appear on the map when you get close enough, and some of these are pretty deep on the outskirts of where you have to go. As well, these collectibles will appear at different times in the story, so it's recommended to just complete the story first before you start looking for these collectibles. The first crew challenge trophy is called Scovillain, and you're tasked by the best alpha Chad boy, Mr. Torg, to seek and destroy some rogue bottles of hot sauce that are out in the wild and might get our man sued. And I completely understand why we are doing this, because one well-placed bullet on this bottle of hot sauce and boom, there's 5 of these, and you just have to shoot or grenade these bottles to get rid of them. For the high up ones, just throw a grenade up there to get rid of them. You'll get the trophy when you destroy all 5, and you also help Mr. Torg not get sued. Next, the second set of crew challenges are for the Ember statues and the trophy Firebug. You will only start getting these crew challenges after you first meet our explosives specialist, Ember. And what you'll need to do for the trophy is light these 5 statues of Pretty Boy on fire. These ones you're going to have to get up and close to ignite them, and some of them are pretty high up, so you're going to have to do some climbing. The last set of crew challenges are for the Mayor's outfit pieces that appear after you do the main mission for the Mayor of Trashlantis. This will be for the Killer Loke trophy, and again there are 5 pieces to collect. You're going to have to rip them off some baddies, and that's the fun part of it. Assemble all 5 pieces together, and that will net you your last collectible trophy for this DLC. Speaking of Trashlantis, at the end of the main mission that takes place in this smelly area, you can get the trophy Don't Be a Stranger. You will build and meet this reluctant robot named Clapstructor, And not spoiling too much of the narrative, but he will sort of indispose himself after the main mission. To get the trophy, all you have to do is speak to him again after the mission is done, and that's it. You don't have to leave the area and come back. You can just talk to the poor robot a couple of times until the trophy pops. Very easy one. While you're making your way through the casino, you will find these loot chests that require you to play some blackjack. The higher you roll, the better the loot. If you bust, you get a consolation prize in the form of a grenade. To get the trophy Shoe Money Tonight, you need to get a blackjack and have all the cards add up to 21. If you don't know anything about blackjack, you need the card numbers dealt to you to add up to 21. Face cards are worth 10 points and an ace card can either be 11 or 1. So one face card and an ace will net you a 21. Or you can keep adding cards until the total hits 21 and gets you the trophy. I really like these flavorful loot chests, and it reminds me of the Roll20 dice in the Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep DLC. But now there's one more trophy to collect in this DLC, and it unfortunately involves more RNG than blackjack. It's the trophy Who Collects the Collector, and you will need to have found and destroy the Wandering Debt Collector. This robot will appear as part of the side mission Sisterly Love, and you will destroy him, but this is only the beginning. After you complete that side mission, every time you return to the same area beside the Casa de Timothy respawn point, one of 4 robots will spawn in it. The most rarest one is indeed the target, the Wandering Debt Collector, back in a new upgraded state. Again, it's RNG based as to whether it will spawn, so if it doesn't, quit out to the main menu and return to the area. Eventually, after doing this a number of times, it will spawn and you will have to battle it in a pretty tough fight for the fate of the trophy. And that's everything for the Moxxi's Heist of the Handsome Jackpot DLC. Remember to be grabbing those secret iridium piles, as I found a lot in this DLC. With 2 trophy sets done, we are blasting off to a quote-unquote resort planet to usher in the great marriage of Wainwright and Hammerlock. Now, before we even cover the story trophies or any other trophy in this DLC, you need to know about this one stupid missable trophy ahead of time. The trophy is called Good One Babe, and what you need to do is watch Death Trap decimate 50 enemies. If that name sounds familiar, it's because it is. And with the robot comes the awesome Necromancer Paige. It's awesome having her in this DLC. But back to the trophy. All you have to do is watch Death Trap maim 50 enemies, and the reason I'm telling you to do this early is because you can miss this trophy if you don't take it seriously. There are only 3 missions in the DLC where Death Trap joins you in combat, so keep those eyeballs on Death Trap while he does his thing. If you didn't get enough kills and you finish the main story, you can try and replay the boss fight on Nagul-Nashai post-story and hope that Death Trap doesn't focus on the boss and takes out some of the fodder. But frustratingly enough, when I tried to do this, he absolutely would not focus on the fodder, and I couldn't add on to my count. So what I had to do is load up true Vault Hunter mode and play the beginning of the DLC again. And that involved me getting to Sanctuary first, which took up some time to do. This was annoying to do, but it was the only way I could get those kills. Hopefully with this information under your belt, it won't come to that, and now you can focus on the 3 unmissable story trophies found in this DLC. I love this Lovecraftian world and all the creepiness going around this place. There are a lot of mysteries and rabbit holes to slide down, and where there's Hammerlock, there are a bunch of hunts for us to go out and find. One of those hunts comes in the form of finding the 4 rare hunts for the A Hunter Through and Through trophy. There are 4 spots you can travel to that have a chance to spawn a rare enemy, and you have to take out all 4 of those enemies. One of them is even a dragon that takes to the skies to rain down on you. The 4 beasts spawn in the exact same place every time, so check out the guide included in the description below and go to those locations. If they didn't show up when you got there, just quit to the menu and try going there again. I think the spawn rates are very generous though, as I got all 4 naturally while playing the story. Another trophy you should massage into the story escapades is called I'm Floundering Up Here. Every time you come back to the lodge, you can talk to this fish mantled on the wall, and he spits loot. But before it literally coughs up the loot, he tells you a dad joke, or rather a fish joke. Anyways, you need to listen to 25 of his jokes to get the trophy. There are a few fish like this outside of the lodge, but they are hard to spot sometimes. The easiest way to get this trophy is to listen to the joke, leave the lodge, and then come back until you have the 25 you need. With all that information out of the way and the story trophies done, now focus on the trophy Industrious in the Face of Cosmic Terror for completing all the side quests and crew challenges. Rather than giving each crew challenge type their own trophy like the last DLC, they are all lumped into one trophy with completing the side quests. There are 14 more side missions to complete, in which I really like the ones including Burton Briggs in them. I really loved his story arc, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's amazing content. The 3 crew challenge types you need to complete are the 5 Mancubus's Eldritch statues, which you have to find and beat up. Yeah, kick that shit-talking statue's ass! Then Hammerlock's got more targets for us in the form of the 5 Hammerlock's Occult Hunts. Similar to the 4 rare spawns, except these ones will always appear in their spots and they are marked on the map. And then lastly, you have to find all 5 of Gage's gifts for the wedding, which appear in various parts of the locations and will appear on the map when you get close to them. Lastly, you have to find all of the echo recordings in this DLC for the trophy Whisper in the Wind. There are 18 of them to find, and unfortunately these don't show up on the map like the crew challenges do, so you're going to need to find a good guide like the one I have down in the description below to help you find all of these. And that's it for this DLC. I hope Wainwright and Hammerlock are very happy together for the rest of their lives spent on the edge. And I hope we see some of these characters again in future games. The next DLC is completely comprised of all new characters, and this is the most intriguing one of Season Pass 1 as it involves cowboys and outlaws and dinosaurs. So let's get robbing those trophies. The Bounty of Blood DLC is the most straightforward trophy set out of all of them. It's weird how with every pack we have covered so far, the breakdown of the trophies is different. Almost like each trophy set was chosen by a different person. Just an observation, but I digress. This one's got cowboys, it's got dinos, and that's good enough for me to complete the story. Speaking of which, 5 of the 8 trophies in this set are unmissable story trophies, so that leaves us with 3 trophies left to worry about, and they are also very straightforward. The trophy How the West Was Done will be awarded when you complete all 100% of the main missions, side missions, and all of the crew challenges we're growing all too familiar with. Essentially, you're going to have to clear out everything in this DLC, and it has more stuff than both Moxxi's Heist and Hammerlock's DLC. There's even its own trophy called That's Quite Challenging for just beating the crew challenges. You have your usual suspects like the Skin to Win challenges where you hunt down big creatures, and Gehenna's Most Wanted where you collect on some bounties for killing some wannabe derringers. you also have the Sato Sagas that work a lot like Typhon drops in the base game, in the sense that they lead you to find Sato caches, which are those big loot chests that you find. The last things you have to look for are the creature features, which are film reels you have to find, and then good prospects, which are special chests. There's in-game clues to find these special chests, but honestly you could just use a guide and go straight to the chest to save time. Then the last trophy, called Helpful Hunter, is awarded for finishing all 10 side quests, which you need to do anyways for the big trophy. Like I said, this one is super straightforward, and so is our next DLC, except you trade in guns and dinos for insanity of the mind and our beloved boy Krieg. So let's get riding the poop train to our next section. This DLC is pretty straightforward like Bounty of Blood, and it's the Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck DLC. And don't get me wrong, this DLC delivers. It's insanely colorful and astronomically insane, but the trophy run is kinda just there like Bounty of Blood, aside from one trophy. In fact, 5 of the 7 trophies are related to the story and unmissable. So you just need to sit back and enjoy the story about the 2 Kriegs. Not one, but 2 sides of Krieg. You're inside his head, trying to figure out what makes psychos like Krieg tick. Especially this psycho, who is more conscious than the tens of thousands of psychos you've been mowing down across the games in the franchise. Once you beat the game, again you have to beat all the side quests and crew challenges for the trophy Fustercluck off. This DLC has way less crew challenges than Bounty of Blood, as there is only one type called the Signal to Noise challenges. You have to shoot all of these balls of light in a small time frame, and there's 9 of these stations to find. Plus there's 13 side missions to complete, in which 3/4 of them literally take a minute each to complete. They are just little moments with both Kriegs, and you don't even have to go to another location to complete them. There's one final trophy to grab, and it's only accessible after beating all of the main missions. It's called Ye Who Enter, and it's awarded for opening the gates of Valhalla. If you like collecting loot in gratuitous quantities, my friend, I think you're going to want to listen in to how to get this trophy. Although, if you don't want the last mission in the DLC spoiled, I'm giving you a heads up here, and go ahead and skip to our last DLC pack then. 3, 2, 1, okay, let's go. Once you collect the 3 statue pieces and open up the final door, you will be on your way to glorious Valhalla. It's a very small level, but on the walls you will notice these big yellow sigils in odd places. Well, they're actually buttons, and shooting them will turn them green. On your way to the very end of this level, there are 12 of these buttons to find. There are 3 in the first room, 3 in the second room, 3 in the room where you fight the boss, and then 3 inside this glorious loot room that reminds me of General Nox's armory, which is so sick. Note that you can grab all the loot before the time limit is up first, and then you can worry about going back and getting the buttons after. Also note this button underneath this breakable floor that you have to butt smash to get it. Once you hit all 12 buttons, you will open the first gates of Valhalla and enter another room where you'll get even more loot. But above your head is another gate to open, and now you have to find another 12 smaller switches that are hidden inside this one room. These are pretty well hidden despite it only being in one room, so for these 12 switches and the previous 12, I have a video guide in the description below. Hit all 12 and you will open the second gates of Valhalla with a few more loot chests inside. Open the chests and you will get the last trophy you need for this DLC. Don't worry if you've done this part of the story already, as you can return to it anytime you like post-story. Trophy-wise, this is by far the easiest DLC of the 6, but again, the DLC delivers on the content part of it. So don't worry about missing anything, just sit back and enjoy your time with our favorite Vault Hunter / Poop Train Conductor. We have one more DLC to cover here in this trophy guide, but it's the most grindy of them. Let me know you're ready for it by hitting that like button, letting me know you're ready to take on the storm. The designer's cut brings forth a new game mode called Arms Race, hosted by Vault Hunters Axton and Salvador. And the 3 trophies we're going to cover last in this trophy guide are all tied to this parody Battle Royale mode. You start the game mode without any guns and armor, there's a storm that closes in just like Fortnite called the Murder Cane, and there's loot chests scattered around the map that you'll need to find to get better hardware to survive. Other teams of enemies will attack you as you sprint through the various areas, and eventually the Murder Cane will close in on one exact location where you have to fight a boss to ensure your victory royale. You will get the trophy in the eye of the Murder Cane when you win your first round of Arms Race. When you drop into a match, there will always be a cache of weapons right where you land. They are white colored weapons, but that's good enough to get you started. Then keep finding chests and looting weapons till you are strong enough to hop into the boss pit. The boss has a blue health bar, then a yellow health bar, and then a red one underneath. So bring shock and corrosive weapons if you can. Once you defeat the boss, you will get the trophy. While you're doing multiple runs of this mode, make sure you keep exploring new areas of the map so you can work on the Complex Made Simple trophy for exploring all 20 locations of the Stormblind Complex. This abandoned doll facility turned game show battleground has 20 different areas you can explore, and you'll need to run through each area at least once for the trophy. Most of them are on the outskirts of the map, so when the Murder Cane starts moving, you won't be able to go to those areas without taking damage. So, to get the trophy out of the way, run to those areas right when you drop into the match, as the Murder Cane won't start engulfing it until a number of minutes has passed. The locations closer to the inner part of the circle will come naturally. Now, I had this trophy glitch on me, but in a good way. I went inside this area here, and when I dropped in there, the trophy popped while I still had half of the locations left to discover. Lucky me. And the very last trophy we need to cover for this trophy guide is called Treat Yourself, and it's a bit grindy. What you need to do for this trophy is extract 100 pieces of gear using the extractors randomly placed on the map. The loot that you find in this game mode will disappear when you finish the match, unless you use these extractor boxes to send them to your bank back on the Sanctuary ship. Just look for these icons of a box with an arrow in it, and then drop the guns you want to send inside of them. So for this trophy, you need to send 100 pieces to the bank. The extractors on the map will allow you to send 3 pieces at a time, and the one you find after you defeat the boss will send 5 pieces to your bank instead. So a good trick is to grab the weapons off the start and then run to the closest extractor and then die on purpose so you can repeat the process over and over. Sometimes a couple of extractors will spawn in the main area at the same time, and you can drop 6 or 9 guns at a time, which will really speed up the process. That's where the grind comes from, because after a few matches of Arms Race, you get the gist of this mode and it starts to become repetitive. But on the flip side, you can get some seriously strong gold weapons through this mode to use elsewhere if you play it legit. So it's up to you whether you want to keep looting the place or if you just want to get this trophy over and done with. And that will be your last trophy for this trophy guide, and get you a sweet 100% trophy completion for Borderlands 3. Even though the quality of the content is variable between Season Pass 1 and Season Pass 2, looking at this trophy run as a whole, I had a great time. I think the Gearbox team hit it out of the park with Season Pass 1 to the point that I can't pinpoint my favorite DLC in the past. They are all excellent pretty equally, and even though Bounty of Blood doesn't bring back some of our favorite characters, it's still just as good as the other stories. There are lots of trophies to get and lots of that signature Borderlands charm. I've already said my piece when it comes to Season Pass 2. Only 2 packs, 6 trophies, less content, and the same price as Season Pass 1. I think this was a cash grab. Arms Race is cool for a few runs, and the cut base game content is pretty cool, especially Hemovorous, but nothing here really justifies that price tag. If you don't care about getting 100% of the trophies, just skip Season Pass 2. List completionists, we are screwed as usual, but at least you can get the Ultimate Edition physical for a great price, or just wait till the digital price drops. That's all for this trophy guide video. Let me know if you have the Borderlands 3 plat or 100% already, or even if you're working towards completing this glorious game right now. And subscribe for videos like this. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers and the Platinum Hunter squad is getting stronger day by day. Thank you all for watching my content, and I hope all your trophy hunting expeditions get you legendary loot. Peace out.